Hey, my name's Jedith, and this video will be a Havoc Demon Hunter Eldrazi Reaver guide in under 10 minutes. We'll go over talent builds, stats and gearing, opener, and finally, rotation. I'll have timestamps down below so you can jump to whatever info you need quickly. Okay, we'll see if we can get through all of this in 10 minutes. Let's go. There's a variety of different talent builds you can play. We're all still testing things and seeing not just what sims the best, but also what feels the best. So I'll give you 2 talent builds to start with here. One for Raid and one for Mythic Plus. I'll also include no mover variants if you're looking for that as well, but feel free to tweak these to your preference. Don't want to play Essence Break in Mythic Plus? That's fine. Swap it out for Glaive Tempest and you'll do perfectly fine. You have a lot more flexibility this time around, and I think people are becoming more accepting of the concept that the player behind the character is more important than a couple percentage difference in the sims. Your stats are more or less the same as Season 1. Crit, Mastery, Haste, Versatility. Crit has gained some more value, mostly due to Mastery dropping in importance slightly as we're not playing Felsguard. But ultimately, you're still targeting Crit Mastery gear. You do need a certain amount of haste to fit 2 death sweeps inside of a demonic window, but that haste will come easily from your tier pieces and other various things. And as you're getting new items, you should always be simming each piece to see if it's an upgrade for you. Now for your gear. You'll still be using Circe's Circlet for the time being until they end up nerfing it. It's kind of lame, I know, I agree, but I have a feeling it will get nerfed pretty quickly. The tier pieces you'll be shooting for are Helm, Shoulders, Chest, and Legs. If you already have Myth Track tier from Season 1, tier gear won't be an upgrade for you unless it's at least Heroic level, and even then it's only around 2 to 3%. When it comes to crafted gear, use your sparks to upgrade the pieces you've already crafted back in Season 1, either wrist or belt, and a weapon. It will highly depend on what kind of loot you get in the first couple weeks of the patch from Raid and Mythic Plus. There's no right or wrong answer here, but a weapon will be the most immediate damage increase. If you do end up using a crafted weapon early on, you can put the Darkmoon Sigil Ascension embellishment on it, accompanied by the Writhing Armor Band to increase its effectiveness. The end goal will be to have 2 Dawn Thread Lining embellishments on your gear, so you can go for those on 2 pieces of crafted armor, or if you are using a weapon, use the Darkmoon Sigil until you can replace the weapon and get Dawn Thread Lining. For trinkets, there are a few you should try to get. You'll want the Sephorium Pacemaker from Operation Floodgate for both Raid and Mythic Plus. It's a super powerful passive trinket that gives you a lot of extra crit. Or an alternative to this is the Mechano Core Amplifier. Next is the Eye of Kazan, which is 100% best in slot for Raid, no questions asked. But not so good for Mythic Plus because you'll drop stacks very quickly and lose value. So don't be fooled by AOE sims with this trinket. It is only good in Raid. And then you have House of Cards. It's a great on-use option for Mythic Plus. It's essentially Skarden's Grace, but with a spin. And a good show, too. You won't have Puzzling Cartel chips or Dinars to play with until patch 11.1.5, but when you do get them, items you can consider using them on are the Jaster Diamond, which is a very powerful ring from Gallywix. You can also get the Eye of Kazan or the House of Cards trinket I mentioned a second ago. And then the final option is Capo's Molten Knuckles, which is a proc weapon, and we know demon hunters love their proc weapons. Also, just to mention, if you are a gold goblin and you're looking to empty your bank account, the Undermine Merc's dog tags are a bind on equip neck from the Raid with a lot of crit and mastery. Consumables and enchants are all the same, we won't waste any time on that, so let's move on to the gameplay. So just a quick refresher on how Eldrazi Reaver works. You create Lesser Soul Fragments by using your Sigils and Chaos Strike. You then scoop up those fragments by either pressing Fellblade or simply by walking over them. Once you've picked up 6 fragments, your Throw Glaive button turns into Reaver's Glaive. Pressing Reaver's Glaive starts a combo where you press Chaos Strike and Blade Dance in a specific order to get a certain result. Chaos Strike puts Reaver's Mark on the target, which is either a 7% increased damage taken debuff if Chaos Strike was pressed first in the combo, or a 14% increased damage taken debuff if Chaos Strike was pressed second. Blade Dance hits for 3 extra slashes if it's used first, or 6 extra slashes if used second. I'll put a little chart up on the screen here so you can visualize it. Now let's move on to the opener. This is your single target opener with Inertia and Essence Break. Like I said earlier, you can sub out Essence Break if you want for something else. All you would do is just remove the Essence Break line from this opener. So you're going to start with Immolation Aura and Sigil of Flame pre-pull. Then you'll use the Hunt. Your character is traveling to the enemy. That's when you want to use your potion and any on-use trinkets that you might have. As soon as you reach the enemy, you want to use Reaver's Glaive to start your combo. From there, you're going to use Eye-Beam to get into Demonic, and then Fellblade, and that will proc Inertia. Now from here you want to press Annihilation. This will put a 7% Reaver's Mark debuff on the enemy. Now you press Essence Break. You're pressing Essence Break here because you want to get 2 Death Sweeps inside of your Essence Break window. After you press Essence Break, you're going to press Death Sweep. This Death Sweep will finish off your Reaver's Glaive combo and give you Thrill of the Fight, which is a 20% increased damage buff. Then you're going to Vengeful Retreat and cancel the animation with Metamorphosis. Then press Death Sweep, which is that second Death Sweep inside of your Essence Break window. Then Annihilation. Then Fellblade to proc Inertia again. Then I-Beam, and then Sigil of Spite. Now you might have some questions about this opener. You might be asking, why are we ending our Reaver's Glaive combo with Death Sweep even though it's a single target opener? I'll end up making another video going into the intricacies of the opener, but just know there are reasons that math out. And this is the exact opener on Wowhead and in the Demon Hunter Discord. Anyways, dissecting this opener gives you an idea of what your actual rotation and priority should be. Use your Sigils and Chaos Strike to spawn lesser soul fragments. Use Vengeful Retreat on cooldown to proc Inertia or Exergy. Set up Thrill of the Fight with your Reaver's Glaive combo to buff Death Sweep and Annihilation inside of Essence Break. Really, the name of the game here is Thrill of the Fight uptime. That is what is most important. You really don't need to focus on what you're starting and ending your Reaver's Glaive combo with in single target. Only thing to worry about is Thrill of the Fight uptime. The AOE opener is close to the same, but I should say that AOE openers are a little pointless in most cases, since in Mythic Plus things become very on the fly and improvisational, and you're constantly having to adapt. You won't necessarily have the hunt going into every pull, but the main thing here is to understand where your buffs are coming from and the abilities you want them to affect. You're just getting Thrill of the Fight at a different spot to buff your first I-Beam and sending all of your Immolation Auras after Thrill for massive Rage Fires. So Sigil of Flame pre-pull, use the Hunt. As you're traveling to the enemy, use your Potion and your Trinkets. As soon as you reach the enemy, use Reaver's Glaive. Now here we're going to complete our Reaver's Glaive combo first before we I-Beam, because we want to get Thrill of the Fight to buff our I-Beam. So after we Reaver's Glaive, Chaos Strike, and then Blade Dance. After that, we're going to send all of our Immolation Aura charges. Even if you get resets, just keep pressing Immolation Aura. Now press Fellblade for Inertia, and at this point you will have the Thrill of the Fight damage buff and Inertia. Next you'll press I-Beam, and that's getting buffed by both of those things, which is going to do very, very big damage. Now press Annihilation, Essence Break, Death Sweep, Vengeful Retreat, cancelled by meta, Death Sweep, Annihilation, Fellblade for Inertia, I-Beam, Sigil of Spite. The general gameplay in AOE follows the same rules as above, but just with more targets. Again, use your Sigils and Chaos Strike to get soul fragments. Use Vengeful Retreat to get Inertia or Exergy. Here, your Reaver's Glaive combo is giving you Thrill of the Fight to buff your I-Beam. You also have the freedom to full send your Immolation Auras and all procs that you get from a Fire Inside for massive Rage Fires. If you have any questions that I left unanswered here, you can always pop by my stream and ask me in real time, or leave a comment here on the video and I'll do my best to get back to you. I've also updated my Havoc Weak Aura pack, and it's fully loaded to work with Eldraki Reaver. You can find a link down in the description. Thanks for watching, and I wish you all good luck in Season 2.